So the first scene I'm going to create is one for the bit for when we activate it. So we're going to use a color rect for this. And I'm going to change this to be called bit. And I'm going to add one child, which will be a label. I'm going to position that label right below it, about there. I'll come back into the inspector. Let's give it a 0 as a starting value, just so we have something to display. And I'm going to center on both. Now let's select our bit, and we're going to make a script. And of course, the script will be C# because this is a C# series. And I'm going to call it bit. Let's hit create. That's going to open up Visual Studio for us. I'm going to get rid of the stuff that I'm not going to use. And there's 3 variables that I want exposed inside of the inspector. One would be for the color when the bit is turned on. One is for the color when the bit is turned off. And another is an int value for when the bit is turned on. What is this worth? So in the case of binary, if we start from, well, right to left, it's no 1, 2, 4, 8. So let's set those up. So we'll save this off. We have to jump back into Godot. We'll run it once. We'll have to save the scene. That's fine. We're going to run it once just so that it compiles. And now when we click off a bit and click back on, we have everything exposed. So the default value, I'm just going to give it a 1 for now. And take note that when we did actually start it up, we had just the white color. So let's hook up the label and get it to start off with the off color. So we'll jump back into our code, and I'll make a variable to actually hold the reference to our label, and we'll have to go ahead and find that inside of our ready function. Create a variable that's of type label, and we'll get a reference to that inside of our ready function. Now take note, in C#, we can specify what the type is, and we'll just say what it's called. Now while I'm here, I'm going to take the color property of this color rect, and I'm going to assign that off color. The next thing we need is a signal so that when the color rect is clicked, we can go ahead and perform some sort of action. So let's set that up inside of Godot. So with our color rect selected, I'm going to come over to the node, and the action we're going to use is the GUI input one. So we'll just double click it. Now inside of C#, it doesn't automatically add the function for us. So we're just going to copy that. We'll still hit connect. I have to come inside of my code and add it here myself manually. And I'm going to listen for the input event mouse button. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is whether or not they've left clicked on this. So we can use an if block for that. And if they press it, for now, let's just print out something to the console so we know it's working. Let's save that off. We'll head back into Godot and let's see if it works. So when we click our rec, all right, it's working. You notice if we click off of it, nothing. So let's start getting it so we can toggle this bit on and off. We'll jump back into our code. And I'm going to create another if block just to see if we're currently in the off state or the on state. And we can do this by just checking the color. If I'm currently set to the off color, I know I'm turned off, in which case, let's set everything to be on. Let's also take that label that's displaying whether or not the bit is on or off and switch it to a 1. And we're going to get rid of that print statement now, and we can just do an else here to turn it off. Save our code. Let's try it out. Fire it up. Starts off red. When we click it, turns yellow and goes 1. Great, we got 1 done. Let's try a whole bunch of bits. So I'm going to create a new scene. I'm just going to make it a 2D scene. And let's go ahead and add in our bit. I'm going to change the name of our main node to number system. And let's duplicate our bit 4 times. Now that I've numbered, let's space them out. I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to put them roughly in the center of the screen. A little off to the side. Let's set the bit value for them. So the first one should be set to 1. The next one should be set to 2, 4, and then 8. Let's give it a quick try, make sure all 4 of them are working. So they're off. We can toggle them on. So next we'll set up the hex value. So as we turn our bits on and off, it can be calculated over to the hex value. For that, I'm just going to select the main node. We'll hit the plus. I'm going to grab another label. I'm going to move it down. Now you can add a custom font later on if you really want. That's fine. I'm going to start it off the default value of 0 just so I can see it. And just like the other one, I want to make sure that it's centered. I'm going to rename it to LEL hex, and let's give it a script. Again, C#, we'll create, get rid of the fluff we don't need. And the first thing I'm going to create is a protected int, just to store the total in. Now I'm going to create a function that we're going to use a custom signal to trigger. And when this function is triggered, all it's going to do is just add a certain amount to the total, and then update the display. So we take the total, add in the amount that's being passed in, and we're actually going to create a separate function to update the display. Let's go ahead and update that display. Now, as we start adding different numbering systems, they all work the exact same. The only difference is the actual what's displayed on the screen. So because of that, we're going to inherit from this class, and we're just going to keep this as a virtual function. So if we want to convert an int to a hex value, we can use the toString function and pass in the x, and that'll do the conversion for us. So let's go ahead and set up this custom signal. So I'll save this off. We're going to jump back into Godot. I'm going to create a new script, and we're going to call this custom signals. Make sure it's of type C#. And then we're going to open this up inside of Visual Studio Code. And actually, we don't need any of this because all we're putting in here for now, just one signal. And this is how we set up the signal to work with Godot's signaling system. So we have the tag signal. I'm going to make it public as a delegate with void, the actual name, and any parameters you want to pass through. In this case, we're just going to be passing one parameter, and that's the actual value of the bit that got changed. Now save this off, and we'll jump into Godot and hook this up as an auto load. So we come into Project, Project Settings, Auto Load. We hit the little folder to find it, customsignals.cs. And I always rename it CS when I'm using GD script. We'll go ahead, click Add, so it shows up down here. Now under C#, I can't reference the CS. I still have to use the actual name of the class itself. If someone knows a way to change this for in C#, let me know down below. So we're going to jump back into our bit script, and let's create a variable to store that in. Once I've got the variable stored, I'm going to go and grab that inside of ready. Now in C#, in order to get that the singleton, we have to actually go out and find it, and it'll always be under root. So we'll save this off and we'll take a look at that. So I'm going to start the project, and I already have mine set up to automatically go to remote, but here is where we actually have our custom signals. Because it's an auto load, it'll get added automatically. And since we're trying to access from this script, we're just going to say, hey, go to root. And then somewhere underneath root, there's a CS, and that's the node we want. So let's take a look at how we emit. So in order to emit that custom signal, we're going to take the node that we referenced, call the emit signal. We have to give the name of it. In this case, it's the custom signals. And then the signal we want, which is bit change. Then we're passing the value in. And remember that value is what we set up here. Now in the inspector, I have it set to 1, 2, 4, and 8. So those would be the values passed in. Now when we want to turn it off, we have to make sure that we're passing the exact same value in, but pass the negative version. We'll save this one and we'll jump into hex. Now, just like with our bit script, we do have to get a reference to that custom signals inside of the node hierarchy. So I'll just throw that up here, and then in the ready, we'll set up the listener. And this is how we connect in C#. So again, reference the node, connect keyword, the actual signal we want to listen to, what script we actually want to handle this signal. In this case, we want this script to handle it. And what function do we want to handle it? In this case, I'm going to be passing on down there. Let's save this off. Let's test it. And actually, before we do this, we actually have to go out and find the node. So there we go. Just like we did in the other script, we go ahead, find the root. We're going to grab the CS that's underneath it, and then we can connect to it. So let's save this off and test. And there we go. It's counting up to F. Let's double these, and let's do 8 bits. We'll just move them over, shift to move them quicker. Put a bit of separation. I'm actually going to take hex, and I'll move that over a bit as well, so it's kind of centered. Now when we start it up, it should, I forgot to change the values, change those bit values. So that's on bit 5, 6, 7, and 8. The values should be 16 for the first one, or for 5, 32, 64, 128. So let's go ahead, we'll start it up, and we'll test the first set first. Do I get to an F? I do, and it's counting correctly. There's an 8. Now, of course, you should change the font to something a little bit more interesting. So there we go, 55. If we turn them all on, we should get an FF, and we do. Let's set one up for decimal at the end here. So I'm just going to simply create another label, and let's do it underneath the numbering system, and there we go. Position it, and then I'm going to change it to LBL decimal. Let's add a script to this as well. Make sure it's C#. I'm calling it LBL decimal. I'm going to create, and then the first thing I'm going to do is change the inheritance from label to LBL hex. Now we don't need anything in here because it's all done inside of LBL hex. The only thing we're going to have to put in is the new updated display. We'll save this off, And I didn't center it. I didn't even give it a starting value. So we'll do that real quick right now. Let's start it off at 0. Let's make sure that it's centered on both and fire it up. So now as we start adding values, we can see we're getting the decimal one. Now feel free to go ahead, put labels on stuff. Like I said, change the font. But here we go. We have a visual tool using a custom signal, or rather a global custom signal that anyone can send or listen to. If you have any ideas for improvements, let me know down below, and well, we can get those done.